Hey guys, Dissection of Violence here. We got another one for you. UFC Gamrot Salkilld, UFC Vegas 120. We got another one for you. Making sure the sound's working. Check, check, check. Alrighty, let's go. To last video, I did like a whole 30-minute episode and it didn't record any of the audio, so just making sure. We had a last minute cancellation, else I would have done it yesterday. I had a feeling there's going to be another one, and there could be another one. It's a pretty messy card, but we'll get into it. First, we're going to recap last week's card. Pretty good card, honestly. I made some made some good bets, a few bad ones, but majority we did pretty well on picks. So yeah, let's get right into it. Okay, so let's start off with the rating. I'll get into all that after. Okay, make sure we're going. Awesome. All right, so yeah, we have UFC Fight Night Belgrade. We're gonna recap that, and then we're gonna jump right into the card for this week. Starting off, we're gonna make this pretty brief. I know you guys don't want to hear me yap about a previous card, but let's get right into it. Luciano versus Spasic. Yeah, Luciano did her thing. Spasic doesn't have any grappling, and Luciano got her down with a nice double leg, I believe it was, and quickly got to her position and subbed her. It was pretty easy, honestly. I didn't think it would be that easy, but it was. So, credits to Luciano. I think we played Luciano with Leka. I usually don't like parlaying women and men and heavyweights, but it's a pretty easy card compared to last week. Like if you think about it, like a lot of like good parlay pieces. So yeah, Luciano Leka was pretty free. Cash, both of them were around one. There was a lot of round one finishes. I think they broke records for how many finishes. Yeah, it was a really cool card in that way. Definitely on paper, I wasn't expecting that, but it delivered. So, anyway, Luciano got a round one finish. Interested to see what they'll do with the ones that did not perform. But we'll see. They might get another few chances. They usually get like a 3 to 4 fight deal. So, anyways, Luciano gets the win. Moving on. Leka versus Popek. Popek was actually winning the exchanges to start. He was just outlanding him. But it wasn't like he was hurting him or anything. He was just landing more. I kind of expected that being a smaller guy, he would have more output. But man, Leka just landed one nasty body kick with having the size and the power advantage and shut the whole body down. Round one finish for Leka. I had a good amount on Leka, so that cashed nicely. Yeah, Leka got the win. Moving on. Nina Milosevic versus Haley Cowan. This one sucks. I actually was rooting for Haley Cowan here. At those odds, I had to take a little sprinkle on her. She was winning, honestly, on the feet, but the body work was just overwhelming for Nina. She hurt Haley to the body fairly early, and eventually that's what was Haley's demise. Haley ends up retiring. Unfortunate. She's a really cool person, awesome person, another follower of Christ. So it was really sad to see her hang it up. But unfortunately, I feel like it is for the best. I just feel like this is, she's an athlete, but it's this is like a hard sport, honestly. And I just think she'd be better off, doing something, you know, better with her life. Fighting is not as glamorous as people try to make it seem to be. And I feel like she got the UFC. It's better than most people will ever do. So yeah, good for Haley. Happy. I don't know if we're like friends or anything, but I like to think she's a friend of mine. Um, Met her, like I said, in Vegas. She's a cool person, and got to work with her a little bit with the wrestling, and it was cool, man. Yeah, shout out to Haley, man. I wish you the best in your future endeavors, and yeah, salute to you, my friend. Anyways, yeah, Nina, not trying to take away anything from Nina. Nina fought a very smart fight, went to the body. That was their game plan, and yeah, did very well. I'm interested to see where she goes in her career. We didn't really get to see that grappling that she's known for, so maybe next fight she still has a really pretty record, and we'll see who they give her next. Moving on. Rebecca versus Propolek. Come on, man. This was too easy. Propolek, I love the guy. Or, sorry, I don't love the guy. I like the guy. He came to our gym. He's a really nice guy. But it's just levels, man. For Rebecca, although he's not going to beat the best guys, he beat Oralby, which is crazy. But, he lost to Diego Ferreira. He's lost to Grant Dawson. He's lost to pretty good guys. And I just don't feel like Propolek's at that level at all. And Rebecca just completely shut him down. I wanted the sub. That's what killed me, though. I needed Rebecca's sub, and he ended up getting a TKO. So, unfortunate. But it is what it is. Rebecca, yeah, finished prop was always there. It was a little chalky, but I did play that as well. Didn't play it. I just pretty much bet to like make a little bit of money, nothing crazy. But yeah, Rebecca, yeah, it was free. Moving on. Bogdan Grad versus Bazooka. Okay, this might give me some flack. I actually was on Bogdan Grad here, so before you guys say bias, and I had 2-3, rounds 2 and 3. I had that as well. Not a very big or anything. That was a very small bet. I wasn't too sure with this fight. But the one thing I will say, Bogdan Grad had a sub at the end of the second, and Bazooka did not tap. He did not tap. I don't care what people thought they saw. This is not a tap. Even that is a tap. Okay. I've seen the most egregious taps, and they did nothing. You know. So that kind of annoyed me because kind of sucks for Bazooka. He's on a losing streak and he needed the win. I don't care. We made money at the end of the day, but didn't kind of. Everyone's trying to say that was a justified whatever. Before, like I said, before you guys try to say, "Oh, I'm biased," so I had money on the other side. No, I didn't. I just feel like that was not a tap, and I can't lie about what I saw. So you say, "Oh, Brazilian tap." No, it really wasn't because he went. The defense to that is you're trying to turn away and then maybe bring your arm back like Habib, or like he did, grab his leg, and that's what he did. He wasn't like he was like going close to going out. There wasn't a lot of time left. And I heard Bazooka say he would have been up 2-0. I don't think he would have been up 2-0. I think he could have been. It was a close round, but I think it probably would have been a grab round just because of the tight submission, etc. But I just don't think that was a tap, and I honestly am pretty sure that wasn't a tap. But it is what it is. It doesn't change the fact of what happened. Bogdan Grad got the win, made some money from there. But yeah, I'm not gonna sit here and say, "Oh wow, that was so impressive." But anyways, moving on. Borislav Nikolic versus Mark Vlogden. Okay, I don't know how much more painful this can get, but I am so sick of losing these 2-3s by like this close away. Borislav Nikolic, I had him 2-3 in a parlay, and he was this close to getting it. This close. Mark Vlogden was so done in the third round. If Nikolic would have just let go of that guillotine and just elbow, elbow, just like the same thing he was doing at the end of the fight, that would have been it. Vlogden was so done, but Nikolic would not posture up. He was like keeping a guillotine that was not in, and he just wouldn't let it go. And that was what cost the 2-3. Honestly, the ref could have stopped it. Especially because Mark was out at the end of that round, and the ref could have like grabbed his hand to see if he was still there. Nothing. I was really annoyed by that because that would have been a monster day if Nikolic would have hit that. But it is what it is. I've hit a few this year, so I'm not sitting there saying, "Oh, poor me." I'm just saying it is annoying because that's 2 weeks in a row we missed by like a fraction of like a minute, like 20 seconds this one or 20 seconds 2 weeks ago with the Abu Dhabi card, and then last week with the Serbia card. Like I said, this close, fractions of minutes away. It's so frustrating, but it is what it is. Borislav, we cashed him straight. I got him in a parlay. It is what it is. I should have played him live, honestly, but something about his reckless style. He's gonna get caught one day, and he doesn't care about getting taken down. He trusts his get-ups, his sweeps, and he's good at that, but against the best guy, he's going to have an issue. But yeah, man, Borislav's a demon. I love watching the guy fight. He's always made me money. Just, I wish he would have just let go of that guillotine. I would have been, it would have been pants off that day. So, it is what it is. Borislav gets the win, but frustrating. Moving on. Michael Oliveira versus Oban Elliott. Oliveira's the truth. This proves it. Elliott's good, and he just made him look bad. Oliveira is a dangerous guy, KO power, absolute freak of nature, and he just made Oban look easy, and he is not easy. So, good win for Oliveira. Very impressive. Yeah. Interested to see where he goes from here, because this guy is going to be fun. I feel like even if he fought um, the guy at the top of the division, was his name Oliveira too? I can't remember. Oh, I can't remember, man. He's good. You guys know who I'm talking about, the Spider guy. Morales, yeah. I feel like might win that one. Honestly, I think it's close. I think it's a 50-50 fight. So, styles make the fight, but I do think Oliveira is going to be a problem in this division. Moving on to Keith Muzaya versus Ludovic Klein. I gotta go. Sorry. Ludovic Klein was probably the biggest. And another thing, this I gotta be careful with my parlay builders in the Discord. You know, you get parlay builders. We missed, I think, three or four in a row by one, four-tier parlays. We had Klein here. That was on me because my initial read was he was a slight favorite. Honestly, I thought he was like negative 160 max, and my dumbass put him in the parlay builder at chalk, like negative 280 or whatever. That was dumb on my part. I forced him in there. Easily could have been Oliveira, and I would have taken maybe less of a payout, but it's better than forcing someone in there. It is what it is. Muzayev's he's good, man. He's a dangerous guy. He's got wrestling. He's got Oliver Orbe made him look easy on the ground, but the guy does have wrestling, and he's a superior striker than a lot of these guys. I am learning this. He'll have his day, but I just don't think it's going to come anytime soon. I think Klein also maybe came back from that leg injury a little too early. He got hurt pretty bad to the leg early, and he just got knocked out in the second round. So it is what it is. Bad read from on my point of view. Could have been a dog shot there, but coulda, shoulda, woulda, coulda. It is what it is. Live and you learn. Respected to Keith. Yeah, it's different when these gym bullies fight like pussies. But Takif's actually like a gamer. He's gonna fight, so gotta respect him. He walks. He may act a certain way in the gym, but at least he carries that into the cage with him. So credit to Takif. Moving on, Noah Gugnon versus Janicic. I wasn't sure with this one, honestly. I took a little dog shot on Gugnon. Wasn't just I had this as a 50-50 coin flip, and the second I saw Gugnon as a dog, I'm like, you know what? Let me take a little shot on this. I know I had some people I respected were on him too, so I'm just like, I can't justify making him a serious play just because I don't like the bet, honestly. But some people I know liked him, so I'm just like, you know what? Let me take a shot. Let me join the party. Let's see what happens. Worst case scenario, we lose a little bit, but it wasn't like a big play or anything. Um, yeah. Gunyang won though. Made it look easy. He hurt again. Janicic to the leg, quick leg injuries back to back, and except this leg was done, like done, and. Gugnon got his grappling. I felt like was going to be the biggest thing that was going to make this fight competitive, and turns out to be the striking that led to the grappling. So great kudos to Gugnon. The guy's good, man. He's come a long way in his career, and I feel like he's only coming into his own now. But yeah, man. Congrats to Gugnon and Janicic. We'll see. We'll see what he can do in his next fight for the battle of the prospects. Moving on. Urbina versus Seppo. Seppo, you suck, man. I can't even be nice about it. Like he's just so bad. And I literally said to myself, he is KO one or bust. Turns out he can't even do that. He actually gets KO'd round one. So the guy just sucks. I thought his chin was better than it was, and it's not. His grappling didn't. It wasn't even. Did he get subbed? No, he got just TKO'd. Right. This guy is horrible. Okay. Octagon has some good guys. Don't get me wrong, but he is just not one of them. And when I saw him in the UFC, I knew he was going to get exposed for his grappling. Little did I know he was just going to get absolutely starched in the feet by Urbina. Now, Urbina hurt Medic, I get it, so he does have some underrated power, but Urbina's not that good, guys. Come on. But yeah, man, Gilbert Urbina, I had him 2-3. That sucked. I was hoping I was going to get a 2-3 spot there. Turns out it happens in one. Nothing I could have done in hindsight there. I never in a million years thought this guy would just do that to him that quickly. But it is what it is. That's the game of fighting we're in, man. Moving on. Robert Valentin versus Todorovic. I loved Valentin, man. All week I was saying the only thing that was scaring me was his fight IQ and him playing off his back. He jumped guillotine a lot, and it ended up winning him the fight. But I just feel like he's a gamer, man. He's always looking for the finish. The guy's dangerous. Todorovic is washed. And yeah, man, Valentin's very, very good. He's gonna obviously run into problems in the UFC as he is very limited in his skill set, and he's the fight IQ isn't exactly the best, but I felt like this was a good fight for him. So Yeah, cashed Valentine, played Valentine live as well. No, no, it was only live. I played Valentine. I couldn't get a. I was gonna bet him pre. I actually took KO pre, a little sprinkle, but he ends up getting the sub, so it is what it is. But yeah, we get. I cashed Valentine live. I don't know if I got that out in the Discord, but I did say I liked Valentine in the spot, and he was in the parlay builder, which would have cashed if it wasn't for Ludovic. But this is what it is, man. Valentine, Valentine, man. Moving on. Rakic versus Tybura. This was my lock of the card after further consideration. Like I said, the top five picks are good opening the week, but as the fights get closer and you see the weigh-ins, you just start getting more confident. The more thing, like for example, I like Sterling a lot. I like Rakic, and those two end up being my core pieces of the card. Rakic just completely schooled him. But man, Rakic is boring. If you can't knock you out with a kick, you're pretty like it's pretty easy to see what Rakic is trying to do. He doesn't really wrestle, and he's mainly just there for a kickboxing fight. And Tybura just completely like is just too slow and old. And even that, he was landing some nice teeps, touching Rakic at times, and just Rakic just I don't know, man. He's just not. I don't think he's a heavyweight. I'm gonna give him another fight to build into the frame of a heavyweight, but I just don't think he's really built to be a heavyweight. And I feel like he'll show in time. But yeah, Rakic gets the win. Yeah, I played him straight at chalk. I played him in a parlay. I had him in the parlay builder first two tiers cashed, I believe, and yeah, Rakic is the one you could thank for that because Rakic and Sterling, but Rakic is a man for cashing that, but yeah, definitely will be hesitant betting him a heavyweight. Moving on, Sterling versus Jan. Sterling just does his thing, man. Sterling's he can be ugly at times watching him fight, but the guy's good. He's very good, and questionable fight IQ, but it's actually better than you think. The guy's just a trip to watch. He's very, very confusing with his style, but he's dangerous. One thing you can't take, he's a sniper, and he's gonna find the kill shot. Um, yeah, man, this guy's good, and I'm excited to see who they give him next. But you're getting to the higher ranks of the division, and your teammate's the champ. So it's like, what does that mean? You're gonna fight your teammate? I don't know. I hear they're, I think, close. I don't know, but yeah, both of them are very good, and yeah, Sterling, man, he's been cashing me some money this year with the Kutalaba fight. Now this credit to Sterling, man. Moving on, Eros Medic versus Daniel Rodriguez. What was this, man? What was this? Medic completely just 30 seconds in slimed out Rodriguez. Too easy. It was like a pullback counter like Connor. Completely just, it was like Connor versus Alvarez, Eddie Alvarez. That was crazy. Rodriguez just too slow. Time in jail probably doesn't help. And yeah, Medic ended like a fairy tale card for the Serbians. Anyways, let me give you guys my prospect of the night. I feel. Um, I feel like it goes to Michael Oliveira. I feel like is a fair fight of the night without a doubt is Nikolic Vologden. I feel like that got the award. Let me see who did. There was no fight of the night, eh? Well, that's who I would have gave it to. That's kind of ridiculous, but anyways, and then yeah, my picks did okay. I think the only one I got wrong in the top five was the bum Chepo at number five. But again, I do those picks usually earlier in the week, and yeah, I did it later this week just because a lot of cancellations. But good thing I did because another fight got canceled today. So, anyways, let's move on from that. If I give the card a rating, I'd probably give it a 9, just because the amount of finishes and good fights. So 8 or 9. I'd probably say 9 though. Anyways, moving on. UFC Vegas 120. Salkilld versus Gamrot. Oh, we did about the same amount of time as last week, so I gotta try to speed it up. But I get preoccupied in some of the fights. So moving on, let's get into this UFC card. Starting out, we have Gigi Canuto versus Carol Foro. I think Gigi Canuto is very talented with her jiu-jitsu, and I try not to take the Ultimate Fighter fight too much consideration, but that was not a good look, honestly. She went really hard for the first 5 minutes and death gas at the end of the round, and just basically quit in the second. She has good jiu-jitsu. Don't get me wrong. I really think she has legit jiu-jitsu, but when it comes to her wrestling, it's very questionable, and her striking is not very good. You know, she beats a very terrible fighter on the Ultimate Fighter with striking, but I can't take that into too much consideration. You're fighting Carol Foro. Foro is nasty on the feet, very nasty, pretty high volume as well. I feel like she's gonna hurt Gigi in this fight. If Gigi doesn't get her out of there early with a submission or top time makes it close, I just feel like Foro is probably gonna find her timing and just tee off on Gigi. I feel like I feel like Foro is probably gonna get a 2-3 finish. I feel like Foro is kicking. I don't know how short notice this fight is because you know they had the Gigi's semifinal or whatever fight was this week. I don't know exactly when she took this fight, but I do think Gigi. Um, I just think Gigi. She's a little. How old is she? She's pretty young. I don't know how. Like she's 23 years old. Gigi has so much time in her career, and I just feel like she's still a baby in the sport. Foro, on the other hand, I don't know how old she is, but she's very good. 29. Okay, so I gotta go with Foro just because that is exactly who um, is coming with the momentum, and I like her track record a little better. But I wouldn't be surprised if Gigi wins with her grappling because Foro's weakness is grappling, so I could see that. But I'm gonna go with Foro here just because I don't like how Gigi looked in rounds two in her last fight, and I don't know. You know, I think Foro's takedown defense is decent. You know, but we'll see. This is definitely not a fight I'm running to bet, especially because I don't know how short of a notice this fight was. Um, I know getting taken down by Konasuli. I feel like the size of Konasuli also is a factor. So I don't know. I'm gonna go with Foro here, but I definitely don't know if I'm gonna bet this fight. This is especially early. I think GG probably gets to her positions early, so you could have a live spot here. How long have I been talking about this? All right, yeah. Let's move on. Moving on. Richie Miranda versus Manuel Souza. I gotta go with Manuel Souza here. I think the odds are a little wide just because I do think Richie is a dog. Richie's gonna come and fight. He's gonna make it ugly. He's a gamer. He's someone that lives in the chaos. He's got good grappling, good wrestling, good jiu-jitsu. You know, he can be a little positionally flawed, but he's nasty, man. He's gonna find damaging shots, his elbows. Um, he has some sneaky power. I think Souza's good. Don't get me wrong. I feel like Souza could easily knock his ass out. But man, like the guys he's been beating, like Varicino, not a scrub. You know, he subbed him. Ilya Barzilay, he beat him. Richie Lewis, you know that was impressive as well. You know, he's dangerous. Mendoka, like he has some good wins. The fight with Keegan was a bad look just because his fight IQ, he was kind of giving up these stupid takedowns. But I don't know, man. I just don't think Souza's gonna wrestle. And if he doesn't wrestle and he can't take him out with a big KO blow, I feel like this could be close. Am I gonna take a dog shot on Miranda? Probably not, just because Souza is really good. You know, he lost to Archie Colgan with wrestling. So there is a chance that he could get out grappled here. Um, I don't know though. You know, he has some wins. You know, Richard Martins, Mauricio Ruffy, Blagioki, Christian Perez, you know, Tim Wild. Like he has some nasty finishes. He has some sneaky power. I just really think Souza's a scary guy. But Miranda is a dog. And you're giving someone who likes to play off his back, who goes for Kimuras too much, against a guy like Miranda. I think that could get hairy very quickly. So I'm going to go a slight lean on Manuel Souza. But I could see a world where this fight gets ugly and he blows it and he ends up losing a split decision or unanimous, whatever it is. So I don't know about him getting finished. People say, "Oh, 2-3 Miranda." I don't know about all that. I think is it possible? Maybe, but how many times has this guy been finished? I don't think many. Yeah, he hasn't been finished once in his career, so I don't know about all that, but you never know. I'm gonna go with Manuel Souza slight lean. Moving on. Just because I do think Miranda's a little too vulnerable on the feet, but it is what it is. Moving on. Miles Johns versus his new opponent, not Jesse Rosas. It will be what the heck is his new name or his new opponent? It will be. Let me see here. I just saw it today. Let me see. It is Gianni Vasquez. I think this is a better fight for John. Cause Vasquez can be out wrestled, and I don't think he's very good on the feet. Whereas I think Rosas on the feet is going to be more dangerous. Because Rosas, the only thing about Rosas is he's a lot more unproven than Vasquez. But with Vasquez, I don't know. I feel like it's still relatively a close fight. Don't get me wrong. It's not like John should be like negative 300 or anything. But I do think John's. I don't know. It's both. It's another short notice fight, like 2 or 3 days notice. So I could see a world in which John's is in a split decision type fight here. That's why I'm gonna again choose a skip. I was gonna skip the Rosas fight anyways. Now I'm definitely gonna skip this fight because although Vasquez is taking this on short notice, he is not. It's not new to him. I think how long was the Basharat fight? I think that was short notice too, right? And I feel like if he's taking this fight on short notice, he must see something in Johns' game that he can exploit. Because Johns is very top heavy. He doesn't really kick a whole lot. And I just feel like Johns could get caught, maybe. Or put in a submission. Maybe. I don't know, man. I just feel like this could be a close fight. So I'm not gonna yap too much about this fight. Weigh-ins are tomorrow, so I'm just gonna chill. Getting this video out mad late in the week, so but this is a fight that just got added, so you guys, it's better if you guys get the actual breakdown opposed to me just giving like a 2 sentence description. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Miles Johns here. I gotta go with Miles Johns by decision. I'm gonna go by decision, but we'll see. Moving on. Dr. Nurgaze versus Bruno Lopez. I'm gonna go with Dr. Well, let me see. Let me see, because I am honestly not too sure with this one. Let me see. Let me see here. Yeah, I gotta lean Nurgaze just because the fight starts on the feet. And everyone knows Bruno's chin is not very good. He just took a lot of damage in his last fight with Sterling. When was that fight? It was like a few months ago, no? Let me see this. March. Okay, so he's had about 4 months. A little bit, yeah, 4 months I would say he's had to recover. And I just think like his chin, man. That's 2 straight knockouts too. Don't get me. Don't forget that. Um, yeah. So I gotta go with Dier here by KO. That's probably the only thing that makes sense to me. To pick, but don't sit here and think that I think he's like a lock or confident read, even a strong lean. I would say a slight lean DR, just because this guy's abysmal on the ground. And the one thing I'll give Bruno is he can grapple. Um, yeah, I'm pretty sure he can out grapple DR, and he's not like a bot on the feet. He's just not very good. So I feel like he could tag DR, maybe get a knockdown, club and sub. Maybe he gets a takedown on DR because he was chain wrestling pretty good against Navajo, but Navajo's takedown defense is pretty good. So I don't know, man. I'm pretty torn with this one betting wise. I think you're just better off to skip it. Maybe take DRKO, maybe. I don't know. But I think KO is like plus 180, whereas Lopez's sub is like negative 450 or 550 or something like that. So yeah, I don't know, guys. Bet with this however you feel. If you're on the Lopez side, maybe just take sub. If you're on the KO side, the Deer side, maybe take money line and sprinkle a little bit on KO. I don't know what these odds are now, so I can't. Let me look. I'm kind of curious. Let me see here. Yeah, exactly where I'd have it. Slight favorite. So bet with this. Bet this one how you feel fit, how you see fit, but be careful because Lopez has grappling. He's a pretty good black belt, and I could see this winning him winning by arm triangle or you know how many yeah, arm triangle seems to be his choke of choice. So definitely could see that. But yeah, man, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how this fight plays out. I lean Nurgazai. I think the odds are pretty fair. But yeah, man. Just be careful betting this one. This is pretty volatile, if you ask me. Um, yeah. I got no interest in this fight from a betting perspective. I just think DR is really bad on the feet, on the ground. Sorry, like this guy got Kimura'd by Brenson Ribeiro, and he lost in a really bad way to somebody else who isn't that great. So yeah, I don't think very highly of DR. I think his KO power is good. He's kind of like Mirzakhanov, where his like striking's pretty elusive and he just comes in with nasty power. But don't be surprised if you see a big knockout from or a submission from Lopez because this is a I don't think this is going to a decision. If you want a safer bet, I just don't think this fight's going to decision. But those odds aren't great, so it is what it is. Moving on. Jose Montana versus Louis Sutherland. I gotta go with Louis Sutherland here. I lean him just because I don't think Montana's fought anyone real. Oh my goodness, this could be an hour. Yeah, how many fights do I have left? Not that many, but yeah, I just think Montana hasn't fought anyone real yet. Sutherland, and again, we do this every single show, but this is not what he looks like. Okay, he is a fat guy now because he's not on the sauce. Um, he's he at least like Tuivasa, you can't really take anything from. Um, he's got power. His leg kicks are nasty. I think he broke Walter Walker's leg with a kick. So you know, but I just think Louis Sutherland, his wrestling is there, and he's got decent striking. Like his KO power, he has KO power in both hands. I think, and his kicks are very very good. Like his leg kicks. He's lost to Kakapar, who isn't very great, who isn't very good, but it is what it is. He lost to Babley. He's lost to Trebelsi, Walter Walker, Pritchik. I don't know if Jose Montana is on that level. Montana has beat absolutely no one. Like who are you beating? Bruno De Jesus. Who is this guy? Let me look at this guy's record. He's 3-2. 1-0, 0-0. Lost to Richard Jacoby. Like that is not a good look. Jacoby is okay. I guess 10-3. It's not the worst. Is he? Yeah. Shoot the box, Monstro. He lost to Augusto. There you go. He lost to Austin Lane. Like this is who we're dealing with. Someone who lost to this guy. So I'm gonna go Louis Sutherland here just because he's actually UFC proven. But this is not a confident pick. Don't sit there and think I think you should run to bet this fight. I would run far away from this fight. But if you are betting this fight, I would take Louis. But yeah, guys, that's the best thing I could say about this fight. I don't want to get too much into the weeds in a fight like this. Moving on. Juliana Miller versus Ravena Oliveira. This one's another fight where I think it's pretty binary. I do really like, and I just again, this is crazy. 2026, I'm saying this. I think Juliana Miller is probably one of my most confident spots in this card, and that's saying a lot because this card is pretty trash from like a parlay perspective. I don't think my parlay builder is gonna be. I don't know if I'm gonna do one honestly. Like I don't really like a lot of spots on this card. But we'll see. I've done very well in the last 3 or 4 cards with them because there's been a lot of spots. But with this one, we're at the fight, we're at the apex, so they kind of like put they scrape the sides of the toilet where all the doo doo crumbs are, and like puts it all in one plate and like serves it to us. It's like I don't mean to get gross, but like this is what we got here. Like this is a pretty gross card. But there's some opportunities because Juliana Miller is a lot of things. She's terrible on the feet, very bad. Open on the feet, very hittable. But the one thing about Juliana Miller is she's a very good jiu-jitsu player. Very good. She beat Fatima Climb, if you guys can remember that. In jiu-jitsu. She subbed Rendon. She beat Bia Mesquita in I know it's a grappling rule set, but like these are good wins in jiu-jitsu. And anyone who says she's not good at jiu-jitsu is just being disingenuous, or they're just not aware of how good she is on the ground. I don't know what they're looking at, but beating those people in jiu-jitsu is no easy task. And then she beat Brogan Walker by brutal ground and pound TKO. Kaylin O'Neal by Kimura round 2. Like she knows how to put it on late. And I feel like Judice survived a lot of situations on the ground with Miller because Judice is very good. But even Judice was lost at times with dealing with her. She's very good with her jiu-jitsu, very good. And when she gets to her back, she's gonna threaten some submissions. I think round 2-3 is extremely live here for Juliana Miller. My fear with the 2-3 is similar to the fight with Ty Miller later on. I like both 2-3, and here's a free little thing. I put it in my Discord. I like the 2-3 mix and match with the both Millers. I think 2-3 are live in both fights. My fear with both of them is they could both get a finish in round 1, honestly. Like, Ravenna Oliveira is god-awful. Like, god-awful. But, when she does get finished, if I can suck here, 2. Ezekiel choke round 1. Ugh, that's gross. Is it possible she gets finished round 1? Yes. Will I be clenching my cheeks the whole time? Yes. But I do think Ravenna Oliveira, if anything, it's going to come late. Because I feel like she's going to potentially be getting the better of Miller on the feet. And then Miller gets her down, gets to her back, subs her, and the first, I'm crying. But I'll be taking inside the distance as well. I will be taking, inside the distance KO as well. Don't get me wrong. I think this is a good spot for Miller. I think Miller is gonna win. I don't think Ravenna Oliveira is any good. I think she is very, very average at best, and I don't think she excels anywhere. Miller, she got TKO'd by Luana Santos, who I think is night and day better than Ravenna Oliveira. She doesn't strike a lot, which is kind of a red flag, which does worry me here, but that's why I don't know if I'll take money line, just because Juliana Miller negative 300 money line. I don't know when that's ever a great idea, but this could be the spot. Who knows? But yeah, I think Miller's gonna win. I think Miller's going to, especially later the fight goes 2-3. I feel like she's gonna cook Ravenna Oliveira. Like Luciana got the sub round 3. Dyer, I know it was striking, but Miller is going to put it on you. When she gets you down, she puts it on you. And her cardio and grappling is very good. It's on the feet. She doesn't look very good. In last fight, she looked pretty good. She took some big shots. So I think Miller is gonna win this fight. I think Miller 2-3. And I know you guys are gonna be holding your cheeks with me, but I do think 2-3 is a good spot here for Juliana Miller. Don't get mad at me if it doesn't hit, but that is what I see. And I think round 2-3 TKO at plus 2,800, plus 4,000 are great numbers. Because you saw the last fight with Brogan Walker. She got her out of there. TKO. I know there was beef there, but I just think Miller knows she needs to make a statement. She knows she's not really taking that seriously, so maybe she comes in here with a chip on her shoulder. I don't know. Maybe I shoot a message saying I don't know. Maybe I grease the wheels a bit, let her know. I don't know. I really think this is a good spot. I just want Miller to win this fight, man. I really think Miller can get her out of there late in the second and third. So I got Juliana Miller here, and yeah, let's see what happens. Never know. Moving on, we have Stephen Asplin versus Guilherme Pat. I don't mind this spot for a 2-3 as well. Um, the reason I'm hesitant is because I don't think Pat's gonna break right away in the second. I feel like it could happen in the third, and you never know. I think Asplin, he's dangerous. Don't get me wrong, but there's a point in the fight. I was watching it back with him and Sharaf, where Sharaf was touching him up. It wasn't very long, but like Sharaf touching you is not a good look. Like Pat, if he touches you, he's gonna put you down or hurt you. My thing with Pat is his cardio is horrible. And I don't think he's very good with a high volume fight. I think Asplin, if he can get his rhythm going, I think he breaks Pat in rounds two or three. My fear is Pat doesn't even let him get that far, and Pat puts him away in round one. Does Pat have the grappling to mix it in? Because I think we saw with Petrino, he couldn't. I think he came close one time to a submission, and Asplin fought out of that. I don't think we've seen Pat go for many submissions at all in his career, if any. I feel like he looked good against Fry, but Fry was a bit of a punching bag, so I don't know. And Asplin's huge; he cuts to make 265. So Asplin's saying all the right things. He fought scared last time. He's gonna go now. Like there was a point in the Petrino fight where he had Petrino like running, like Petrino was hurt, and I think Pat is very similar to Petrino, except potentially worse cardio. I think worse. So I gotta pick Asplin here. Let me see who I have because I have it written down. Yeah, man. I feel like early it's gotta be Pat. So I gotta just do pass. This is a pass spot for me. But if this fight goes outside of round one, it's Asplin. I feel like it's Asplin. Unless Asplin just fights scared like he did last fight, I feel like this is a Pat fight. Or sorry, I feel like this is an Asplin fight. So it all depends on how Asplin fights. But I'm gonna go Asplin as my pick. But this is a big pass spot just because it's going to take him a little bit to get cooking. And Asplin and Pat's going to have that energy in round one, potentially put him away in round one. So I'm going to go early favors Pat, late obviously favors Asplin. My pick will be Asplin only because he has 2 rounds to the one round. I don't think once Asplin gets going, we're going to see a resurgence in Pat. I think Pat's going to, break. You never know. It's going to be a messy heavyweight fight. I got nothing on this fight. But yeah, man, it's very tempting to not take Pat KO1 just because that's his path to victory, but you never know. Very, very volatile fight, if you ask me. The whole card's very volatile, but we'll see. Moving on. The highest odds on the whole card, we have Yaider Del Valle versus Darren Elkins. This is a fight, and if you ask me, who I think could be the biggest apple pie shitter, it is obviously Deval after we just watched him lose to Jordan Levitt. And not because I think he doesn't win this fight. I do think he wins the fight. Don't get me wrong. I think this guy is younger, hungrier after that last performance, and probably angry. He's probably pissed off in the way he fought last time. I feel like if he has any brain, he's not going to jump guillotines. I feel like he's going to work his defense first. You got to throw that Dalgarian fight away. But man, that jumping guillotine stuff is not going to work here. That is my fear with him, is he keeps jumping guillotine. If he jumps guillotine, he is going to potentially throw this fight away again. Because Elkins, you're not getting a submission off on Elkins with a guillotine. I know the famous last words, somehow he gets it, but I don't think Elkins is getting subbed by anyone at Del Valle's level anytime soon. Does he have a pretty good guillotine? Yes, but if Jordan Levitt can survive it, I feel like Elkins can. Like, when's the last time this guy has been subbed? Let me look. Charles Oliveira in 2010. And that was by armbar. So I gotta go, and he's fought grapplers, so it's not like he hasn't fought grapplers before. I gotta go with Elkins, or not Elkins, Del Valle, just because of the age and how Elkins looks taking shots. But it's not like negative 800. I had maybe negative 200, negative 250. Okay, he maybe a little wider even, but Bro, negative 800? No, you're asking me to take the donation spot on Elkins. Near plus 600, I see on some sites. I would take a shot on Elkins at those odds. I will happily watch my money burn. Obviously, don't go crazy, but a little bit, a little sprinkle. But if I would rather say to myself, at least I bet Elkins at these odds, than say to myself after it loses or after it wins and I didn't take it, I missed an obvious spot here. Because Del Val jumps guillotines, Elkins knows how to get out of that and stay on top. And if he stays on top, I feel like unlike Jordan Levitt where he's just camping, I feel like he's gonna cook. Like him on top is a little different than Jordan Levitt. So yeah, Elkins is good with the mess. Like he his cardio is good. My fear with Elkins is obviously his chin and his age. I don't think he's there all there. But at these odds, you kind of gotta just shut your eyes and just throw a dart. Hopefully it hits. We'll see. I don't think it will, just because it's Del Val's return after a terrible performance. I'm sure he's made some adjustments, but if he didn't, this is the wrong guy to try that game plan against. So I'm gonna go Yider Del Val here, obviously, but Darren Elkins, I would not be surprised to see him pull it off. Now I had him at way too low of odds. That's how low I think of Del Valle. Okay. Or Juliana Miller. Or do I not have Juliana Miller here? Oh yeah. Juliana Miller. Yeah, I haven't even updated my picks yet, so sorry guys. I gotta fix some things around. Oh man, yeah, I don't really have my stuff organized that well, but yeah. It's a really weird week, honestly. Anyways, let's move on from here. We have Billy Ray Goff versus Ty Miller. This would probably be my most confident pick on the card, I would say. It's pretty straightforward. Goff is just not good. He's a Homer Simpson, literally one of the biggest Homer Simpsons on the whole UFC roster. Very hittable, but man, does he bring it when he knows you're tired and hurt. He lost. He got put to sleep by Ramiz in a guillotine. Honestly, could have won the Trey Waters fight. That was a war. But yeah, man, he hasn't really fought in over a year, and he hasn't won since 2023 against Akino Shita. So his wins aren't very good. All the win comebacks are usually like him coming back from adversity. So I don't know, man. I gotta go with Ty Miller here. He's just a lot better. Could he get hurt by Billy Goff just getting reckless? Yeah, but I just think Miller's very, very technically sound. Fights behind the jab. Very good defense. Like he's gonna be very, very selective on his shots, and I feel like he's gonna put Ray down. Probably happens 2-3, but like I said, could happen in round one. I would not be surprised in the slightest to see that. So yeah, man, I gotta go with Billy Goff here. Yeah, this is a pretty straightforward fight. Yeah, man, pretty straightforward. Not much else I could say. Goff's Homer Simpson. Could he pull it off? Yeah, but pretty straightforward fight. Like he's beat grapplers. The Eric Nolan fight isn't a great look, but I don't know, man. I'd have to go back and watch that, but I'm pretty sure he should have been unanimous, but I don't know. Yeah, Ty Miller, man. I got Ty Miller. Yeah, I feel like if you know I think him and Juliana should win. So double Miller. Those would be my two most confident picks, or Miller and Miller. So yeah, I got Ty Miller by KO. Honestly, could be round one, honestly, but I'm gonna go KO 2-3. That's gonna be my read. But I have PTSD after what happened with Fugit, so it could happen definitely round one. And don't think I won't be playing round one KO as well, just to like make myself feel a little better. But yeah, especially if Miller gets a 2-3. So moving on, we got Amanda Lemos versus Alexia Tainara. It's got to be Lemos here, or not Lemos, Tainara. But man, at these odds, I feel like if Lemos just somehow learns how to fight smart, she can win these fights. But she just fights so dumb. Her cardio isn't that great, and Tainara has pretty good striking, I would say. Her grappling is pretty good. She chain wrestles. She's pretty like a good, well-rounded martial artist. Lemos is the old guard. She's the new guard. I feel like Lemos is probably gonna get out grappled here. She's 39, coming off a few bad losses. Robertson had one leg, and Lemos got her. And Lemos couldn't get her done. Couldn't get it done. That was a big piss off spot for me. So just out of spite, I'm gonna be taking Tainara. Will I be betting this fight? No. At these odds, I just can't trust Tainara at these odds. I do think she wins. Don't get me wrong, and maybe she's like farther down in the parlay builder, but I just don't think betting her at these odds, like seriously, is a great idea. I know some people like it, and maybe I will put a little bit on it for fun in the parlay with somebody, but I just don't think maybe Miller because he's part of my core of the card. But as far as like lock goes, this card is pretty bad when it comes to locks. I would say I don't even like using that word, but the last 2 weeks it's been filled with them. So, but yeah, guys, I would lean Dainara here. I think Dainara is going to be more well rounded. And what do I have her as? I think I have her. Yeah, I would put her at a higher rating than that. I would say like 1.5. Yeah, I think that's fair. Alrighty. Yeah, I gotta go with Alexia Tainara here. I'm gonna go with her by um, decision, maybe 29-28, maybe split decision. Who knows? But yeah, I gotta go with Alexia Tainara here. We'll see how this fight plays out. Not not exactly sure. It's old guard versus the new guard. Lots of fun things could happen in this one for sure. Okay, moving on. We have the next fight. We have Billy Quarantillo versus Diego Ferreira. I gotta go with Diego Ferreira here. Like, I think Ferreira, although he's gonna be older, I believe, Billy's been off a long time. Like, if you look, Billy's been off. He's 37 too. He's not a young cat. He's been off for almost 2 years, battling injuries. He got in the UFC 2019. So he's been in the UFC about almost 7 years, I think. And he's been off for two of them. So 5 years of activity, and he's been off for, yeah, about 2 years. And the last few fights, he's been finished. Three out of his past four fights he's been finished. And Ferreira is a very good jiu-jitsu player. He's got some sneaky power too, but I don't know if the power is going to be the issue here. It's going to be the jiu-jitsu. With time off, I don't know how Billy's going to look. So, yeah, I got to go with Diego. I feel like Diego's going to be much more. I feel like Diego's going to be much more calm in there. The thing with Diego that worries me is his cardio. I don't know how Diego's going to look in 2-3 because Billy's, again, another Homer Simpson. And he will put it on you if he knows you're tired. He got finished in round two versus Hernandez, but even though it was more so just like him getting caught than, him getting broken or anything. But seen it before, Gamrot, that was again more so an injury. Gillespie broke him. But that was a lot of scrambles. I don't know if Billy's even capable of scramble like that. That's a big reason why I'm going to be taking Ferreira. It's because of the scrambles. I feel like he can handle that. And with the fight with Rebecca, that was a pretty high paced fight, and he handled that well. He actually broke Rebecca. So I gotta go with Diego here. I feel like that's the only thing that makes sense. He's been off for less than a year. It's not like he's been off that long, almost a year, but not quite. I don't know, man. I gotta go with Ferreira here. He's definitely the older fighter, I believe. He's like what, 40, 41, yeah. So it's like it is sketchy. Don't get me wrong, but I'm gonna go with Diego here. I'm gonna go Diego by submission, maybe rounds one or two. Definitely a volatile fight. I lean Ferreira. Would I be? Oh, these fruit flies. Would I be shocked to see Billy get a TKO late? No. Billy's a dog. One thing you can always say about Billy is he's gonna scrap. Two Billys fighting on this card, and they're both Homer Simpson. Except I do like Billy. He's a cool guy. I think he follows me on the gram. He's a cool guy, man. But I just don't like the layoff, and I don't like his I think he got subbed by someone. Who was he? Who did he get subbed by? And it was really embarrassing. I think he got no. He actually got the TKO from the back. My bad. I thought it was him who got TKO'd. Anyways, yeah, I gotta go with Diego Ferreira here, but it's not exactly like a most confident pick of the card. But I do think Diego should be able to win this one. But yeah, I don't know. Moving on. Alrighty, the main event of the evening. We have Mateus Gamrot versus Quillen Salkilld. Now, I think for this fight, calls for the hat. Let me see here. I gotta go with Gamrot here. Like it's not exactly a popular pick, but man, I don't think Salkilld is that good. This is the fight that will shut me up. Because I've said it for time. I think Salkilld is skilled. Don't get me wrong. I think he's skilled. But I just don't think he's that good. Beating Gamrot, again, this is why, I was on Gamrot at plus 130. And I could go back to my position on Gamrot. But something about that fight with Dan Hooker is keeping me away. I feel like this fight is just too close for me. I don't like betting fights like this. If he was like plus 200, maybe plus 150, I could be like, yeah. But man, it's going back down to plus 110, plus 120. I can't justify it. Like if you look at Salkild's record, this is why I don't think he's that great. He's fought. Look at the guys he's beat. Okay, Brett Pastor, great jiu-jitsu player. That's a great jiu-jitsu player. He beat him, unanimous. Okay, Demar Fan, more so a striker. He beat him, subbed him, uses grappling. Gage Young, he had a war with Gage Young. And that was, he won. Don't get me wrong, but that was a war. Jubilee, who cares? You got to KO over the legend of Jubilee. I just don't really care about that. And then you fight. This is probably one of his best wins was Ash Moose. And even then, he didn't look that great. Ash Moose, good win there. You got a nasty head kick over hack press. Malarkey was actually out grappling him, and then he got a beautiful submission on Malarkey. And then we have Ben Neal, who is a ghost of Ben Dariush, but Dariush was out wrestling him. My thing with Gamrot is I don't know exactly where his jiu-jitsu at, because the one time we saw him against a good jiu-jitsu player was Oliveira, and he got the sub. I know he got tired, Gamrot, but Salkild's got some good jiu-jitsu too. Obviously not as good, but he's pretty good himself. My fear with this is Salkilld has too many ways to finish the fight. Whereas Gamrot needs Salkilld to be on his back. And Salkild's not really one for settling. He's constantly looking for get-ups, sweeps, So, I don't know. My pick will be Gamrot just because it's 5 rounds. And we haven't really had to see Quillen go 5 rounds too much yet. When was the last time we did a 5-round fight? I don't know. I think maybe this one. Let me see here. Let me see how many rounds was this. Salkilld. Yeah, 5-5s. He went with Brett Pastor, but that's the last time he went 5 rounds, and that to me isn't that impressive. So 5 rounds with Gamrot's a new pace that maybe he's not ready for. I don't know. I'm going to set this one out until further notice. I was on Gamrot as a bet. I completely got off my position. I do get why people are on Gamrot. I do get why people are on Salkilld. Some people I respect are on Gamrot. Some people I respect are on Salkilld. I don't know. My pick will be Gamrot just because this is a litmus test for Quillen. But if Quillen somehow finishes Gamrot, I will not be surprised. I feel like this is a very close fight. Very good fight. Great main event to cap off a terrible card. So, yeah, my pick will be Gamrot here, but it's not a confident one. Alrighty, guys. I'll give you guys my prospect of the card. It's probably gonna have to be Ty Miller, honestly, and it's not saying a lot because this card is so bad. Who else is there, honestly? Like looking down, maybe Jesse Rojas, but that fight got canceled. I'd say Carol Forho and yeah, I'd say that's it. And now if we go fight of the night, I'd have to say Manuel Souza Miranda, or maybe a Gamrot, or I'd say Souza Miranda probably be my fight of the night so far. Now, if I'm going my top 5 most confident picks, I would have to say my number 1, Ty Miller. Number 2, I'd have to say Juliana Miller. Number 3 would be Yarder Del Valle. Number 4 would be Foro. Number 5, I'd say 4 and 5 are tied. Daenerys and Foro, 4. And then number 5, I would say Manuel Souza and Diego Ferreira, 5. Alrighty, guys. Like, subscribe. You know the drill. Oh, I think I went for like an hour, honestly. So, there's some content for you. Oh, now I went for an hour. Okay. Alrighty, guys. I went into a bit of the Discord information, what's going on with it last episode around the ending. So if you guys want to watch that, kind of talked a little bit about it. But yeah, if you want in, you got to DM me personally. So now we got a selection process to get in. It doesn't cost you $1, but I will have to talk to you first so I know what kind of person I'm dealing with if they do join. I don't have any issues with people being in there, but I'm not going to get into the whole spiel again. But we need good people with good intentions in there. I'm not trying to just let anybody in anymore. It's gotten too weird, and yeah. Alrighty, guys, like, subscribe. You know the drill. I'll catch you next time. We got the UFC pay-per-view next week, so I will be getting my video out a lot earlier because I feel like the card's basically done. So even if there is cancellations, fights added, I'll just post it on like I make a post about it or something. But anyways, guys, I digress. Like, subscribe. You know the drill. I'll catch you next time. UFC. Gamrot, Salkilld, let's cash this card. Keep the streak going. Until next time, guys. Peace.